Hello and welcome to our lesson on adding and subtracting decimals. Today, we'll be building on your mathematical skills to master this important and practical aspect of arithmetic. In this lesson, we will review the basics of decimals to ensure a solid foundation. We will then explore the process of adding decimals, focusing on lining up decimal points and handling any carrying over. Next, we will delve into subtraction of decimals, emphasizing the importance of aligning numbers correctly and borrowing when necessary. After this, we will run through some practical examples to apply and reinforce your understanding of these concepts. So far in our lessons, you have become proficient in performing the four basic operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division on integers, negative numbers, and fractions. You can also understand and work with decimals. Performing addition and subtraction with decimals is crucial for dealing with real-world problems. Imagine you're budgeting your weekly expenses or figuring out the total distance you've traveled across several trips. These skills will make these tasks straightforward and accurate. Let's get started. To understand how to add and subtract decimals, it's essential to recognize that the process is almost identical to adding and subtracting whole numbers or integers. However, we need to be careful about aligning the decimal points to ensure accuracy. Here's a step-by-step breakdown of how to do it. When adding or subtracting decimals, our first task is to write the numbers so that their decimal points are aligned in a vertical column. This ensures that each digit is in the correct place value column: units, tenths, hundredths, etc. Let's look at an example of adding 12.45 and 3.7. Note that it's helpful to add a 0 to the end of 3.7 to make it 3.70. This does not change the value, but makes it easier to line up the digits. Once the decimal points are lined up and any necessary zeros are added, you can add or subtract the numbers just like you would do with whole numbers. Ignore the decimal point momentarily and perform the arithmetic operation. Finally, after completing the calculation, place the decimal point in the answer directly below the decimal points in the numbers you added or subtracted. Make sure it remains aligned vertically. So the final result of adding 12.45 and 3.7 is 16.15. Let's now explore subtraction with an example by subtracting 1.25 from 8.5. Similar to addition, we add a 0 to the end of 8.5 to make it 8.50. Now perform the subtraction as though they are whole numbers. Finally, place the decimal point in the correct place. So 8.5 minus 1.25 equals 7.25. By following these steps methodically, you will find that adding and subtracting decimals becomes an easy and accurate process. Let's tackle adding and subtracting decimals with some practical examples. For our first example, let's add 3.47 and 5.6. Start by aligning the decimal points. Next, add the numbers as if they were whole numbers and include the decimal point. This leaves us with 9.07. Let's consider a more complex addition problem. Find 124.67 plus 3.456 plus 78, 2. Once again, we start by aligning the decimal points. Now add the numbers as if they were whole numbers and include the decimal point in the final answer. This gives us 206.326. Let's finish off with a subtraction problem. Find 56.3 minus 19.789. Aligning the decimal points, we have the following. Now subtract the numbers as if they were whole numbers, borrowing if necessary, and include the decimal point in the final result. This leaves us with 36.511. Notice how important it is to align the decimal points correctly. This ensures that each place value, units, tenths, hundredths, etc., is correctly aligned, which is crucial for accurate addition and subtraction. These examples illustrate the fundamental steps involved in adding and subtracting decimals. Practicing these steps will help you become proficient in handling more complex problems involving decimals. In today's lesson, we focused on mastering the addition and subtraction of decimals, a vital skill for various real-world applications. We began by emphasizing the importance of aligning the decimal points vertically to ensure accuracy when performing these operations. By lining up the decimal points, we can correctly place each digit in its respective place value column, such as units, tenths, and hundredths. We then discussed the necessity of filling in any missing zeros to make the numbers have the same number of decimal places. This step ensures clarity and prevents errors during calculation. Moving forward, we treated the aligned decimals as whole numbers, performing the addition or subtraction as we would with integers. Finally, we placed the decimal point in the result directly below the other decimal points, maintaining the correct place value. Through practical examples, we demonstrated that by following these steps methodically, adding and subtracting decimals becomes straightforward and precise. We tackled both addition and subtraction problems to reinforce these techniques. Mastering these steps provides a solid foundation for accurately handling decimals in various contexts, from budgeting to measuring and data analysis. Watch the rest of the GCSE Maths course at Sophos Education.